right? Verse 1 through 7. Amen? Amen. So, yeah, amen. So what we want to focus on, as you heard Pastor Cynthia say on Sunday, was God sees you. Amen. Amen. Anybody agree with that? God, say, God sees me. Amen. So we want to make sure that we capitalize on the message that was spoken on Sunday. Also, that we capitalize on the opportunity for us to recognize who we are, who God sees that we are, and what we can become as He's working on us and through us. Amen. Amen. Say it with me. Say, I am worth viewing. Say, I am worth viewing. Amen. So we have to understand that when we're being viewed, amen, we're being observed, we're being watched, and I know sometimes you say, I just want to, you ever say like, I just want to be behind closed doors. I don't want nobody to see what I'm doing. But can I say something to you about that mentality? There are times when and I preached about this before. There are times when God will hide you, amen, so He can protect you but can grow you, amen. But eventually you still got to come from behind that door, amen. So there are times that does happen. But you have to understand too that in spite of what you have ever done in your life, in spite of what you may be feeling, amen, sometimes people need to see you because seeing you is your testimony. You missed that whole thing right there. Amen. If nobody ever sees you, you're like, so some people already know that you're going through some things. Some people can look at you. You ever go to a job and you can look at somebody and be like, what's going on? Because that's not you. Right? So some people need to know that, in your life, I'm not telling that you got to tell people the most intimate secrets about your life or anything in that matter. But sometimes people need to know, you know what? Today is just one of them days, but I'm not going to stop praising God. Like, it's not that I've given up on God or I've given up on what He said, but today is just one of those days. Amen. But you got to understand, a week later, your day is different from that day. Let me say that again. A week later, your day is different from that day. And then when that same person sees you and approaches you, they say, hey, man, something changed. You say, yep, because God worked it out. Amen. Because sometimes, we are so, we call ourselves to be so private. And, but you don't know the difference between private and hidden. Right? So sometimes what our problem is, right? When we're hidden, we're in a place where God is. And God has instructed that. Amen. When we're in a private place, that means that's a place that we decided to be in on our own and not recognizing, amen, that maybe I'm in this place because of what my circumstances and what my decisions have made me to do. So now I want to be private because I don't want nobody to realize that I messed up something or I may be in a mess or I may have done something. So private and hidden are two different things. But I'm here to let you know today, God will transfer your private situation to a hidden situation and you'll be better for it at the end of it. Amen. So tell God, transfer